Hey folks, Exclusive Model Designs here. This is part 5 of the Tamiya 1/35th scale M4A3E8 tank build. So as you can tell, my desk is full of goodies, and that's what this video is going to be mostly today, is talking about some of the aftermarket parts that you can get for your tank. And we will be talking about the model itself and what I've done since the last video. But for the most part, it's going to be the aftermarket parts. Now, I do have a few aftermarket parts that are still outstanding in the mail, but here in Canada, mail is slow coming. So those will have to wait for a different video. But for the most part, the majority of the parts are in, and let's get to it. So right off the bat, we're going to start with that set right there, the M4A3E8 1945 update set. Now, I think for legal reasons, they can't call that the Fury set, but if you are interested in building the Fury tank model, that would be the set for you. That is pretty much identical to the movie. They added all the parts that you would need to build Fury, right down to the gas mask wearing helmet guy that would go right on the light. Even in the instruction booklet that they give you, actually I shouldn't even say booklet, is just one sheet right there. So it's just a one-page sheet that they gave you. Fairly nice. But this is, the Fury layout. When I looked at the movie and all the pictures and stuff, that is identical. So the pieces they come on and stuff like that are all on these, I call them sprues. But it's fairly easy to get off. As you can tell, I got most of them off. And it's fairly easy to get off and then, sand down and smooth out and stuff. But very, very nice. Now, I'm not going to be using it all because we're not building Fury, so, I'm going to pick and choose which ones I want. Obviously, the tracks and stuff, we're not going to be using those because I have, different tracks, and we're going to get to those in a minute. And it did come with a 30 cal, which is really cool, but I built my own mount, and I have a different 30 cal coming, so I'm going to be comparing the two between this one and then the one that's still coming in the mail, and find out which one's better, and then go from there. But now that this one, I have this one, I didn't know this came with the set, to be honest with you. Now that I have this one, for whatever M4 I build in the future, now I can add another machine gun. So that's really cool. Obviously, we have the logs for the side of the armor. So I'll paint them up, and those should look good. Or I can just go out in nature and get real sticks. So we'll see. But there they are anyway, right? But the stuff I was really after for the most part was like the stowage and such. The road wheel, because I didn't want to sacrifice a kit to steal the wheel from it, right? The ammo boxes and such. I mean, these are really nice. They got a nice texture to them. The ammo boxes, like I said, the camera's probably not picking it up, but they actually have like a wood grain look to them. So once I get paint and such on it, it's going to have that wood look to it. So again, very nice. Now, that looks funny, right? But it's designed so once it sits on the tank, right here, all the fuel tanks and jerry cans and ammo boxes will sit nicely underneath it. So if you are using this, you kind of have to, follow that, which is fine, right? Otherwise, it'll look funny. So, but that's the plan anyway. I'm going to use all that and some of that. I might just not put it in their order, up top. I might change it around a bit because, I want to do my own thing. But that's a very, very nice set. And then, of course, right here I got my aftermarket barrel, which I'll put together and paint. It's a nice metal barrel. So that's cool. Very happy with that. That does not come with that set. The decals do, though. Maybe I should have showed you that before moving on to the barrel. So you got some cool decals, and of course you got the decals for the side of the tank, which in the last video or so ago I had to make my own, but there they are. But that's okay, I want to do my own numbers anyway. And then moving on, I had some 50 cal bullets right there. if I want to add my own to the machine guns. And then from Duplicata, I have some cigarette packs, Lucky Strikes. You know, I've used these in prior models and other builds like B-17s and such. So, you know, I'll cut those out and, you know, I'll put them beside a figure and such. Same with magazine clippings, newspaper clippings from the 40s, maps. That really adds to your diorama. And then figures. That's Brad Pitt right there. I might change the head, or I might just paint it up as is. And then those guys right there. You know, one's cooking something. It's called French toast, so he's probably cooking bread. And the other guy's munching on something. I don't know if the camera's really picking that up. You know, I'll open them up, and when I start working on them, you'll really get to see them. That's going to look really cool in the diorama. So they'll be cooking. He'll be cooking something over a fire, and he's eating. And when I do the fire part of it, that's going to look really neat if it works out the way I plan it. And he'll be sitting on the tank somewhere. So it's going to look cool. Now moving on to the tracks. Now I'm not going to open them up because, you know, obviously they come on a sprue. And you're going to have to do each piece individually, which, you know, obviously is no surprise to me. But it's just deciding on which one I want, right? Do I want, you know, the rubber style, or do I want, you know, that style, sort of the Type 80 or the Type 84? So I knew I wanted one or the other, and I got a few M4 models. So as long as you get the right track for the right tank, right? Because this is the HVSS. You know, the earlier models of M4s wouldn't have this style of track. So when you are buying your tracks, make sure you get, you know, the right suspension for the, you know, the right tracks for the right suspension, that kind of thing. So a lot of people might, you know, forget about that, right? So again, which one do I want? I don't like the rubber tracks that come with the models. I like to do my own. You got way more freedom with this, especially when you start building it for painting and detailing. So that's just the company I went with. And hopefully I'll have some extras, which normally they give you extras. And then that's where I'll, you know, instead of using this, that's where I'll just put my extra track around the tank for the armor. That's why I haven't put it on here or here yet. Because I'm hoping I'll have some extra from these kits, which generally I will. And because 9 times out of 10, you'll end up breaking a couple when you're taking it off the sprue. And then the broken ones, instead of chucking them, I'll, you know, save them for, you know, putting it around the sides and such. So just going back to here for just a moment, I don't usually throw parts away, and this isn't really considered a part, but depending on, you know, what tank you're doing, like this stuff here, instead of throwing this stuff away, I know in the war, for cutting the hedges and stuff, they welded, you know, some of the anti-tank, I don't know what they're called, but the things from the beaches onto their tank right here for cutting through the hedges. You could actually make your own out of, you know, the old sprues, which ones held, you know, these pieces on. So if you keep some of these and, you know, reshape them, you could glue right to your front of your tank right here and make your own, you know, hedge cutters. It's up to you. Just an idea that I had. I'm not going to do it with this one because I'm too far along with the build. But, you know, no two are alike, right? So, and these kind of look like them. So if you kind of cut these and re-glue them and put them in, you know, weird shapes, you could technically, like that one, well, it doesn't look like anything. But, you know, like that, but if you did it bigger, you could make that look like a hedge cutter for your M4. That's just an idea I had. So it's less waste, and you're getting something more out of your kit. But that's just an idea I was spitballing. And then there's a package. I got that at Michael's. That's just fake snow. There's many companies out there that make fake snow, and that's just the stuff I'm going to be using. So the next goodie bag that I have coming in the mail will have my 50 cal in it, my other 30 cal, as well as some other little, you know, bits and pieces for my diorama. But moving on, I started getting the Pioneer tools on, as you can see right there. I got the shovel, the axe, the sledgehammer, and whatever else. And basically just primed it white, and then I just started painting it with my Vallejo. It's just like the old wood. And then I painted it, that part black. Actually, I painted, that part black, and then I kind of waited for it to dry a bit, and then I started rubbing the paint off a little bit. And then I took my Tamiya weathering sets and rubbed like the gunmetal on it, and then just kind of rubbed it on and off until I got that used metal look. I can't really focus. The camera's not letting me focus here. I did that all on the metal parts that needed to be metal. And then of course I went with the weathering, portion of those Tamiya sets, those weathering sets, and then did the soot and the mud and just kind of rubbed it all over, and then I glued it on, and that's pretty much it. It took longer than that's pretty much it. It was about a day's worth of work, just for drawing time, painting time. But that is the Pioneer tools for the most part. There's still a few more to go on, but yeah. Sadly, looking at that, a lot of them are going to be covered. At least the ones on the deck, anyway. But that's okay. We got the video here to show it off. Now, if you look at the tank, it might look maybe the videos or the camera's picking it up, but maybe not. I actually took baking soda to the entire tank and dropped it all over the tank and then blew it off. So it might start to look a little frosted. That's just the first step in making it look, cold. But I don't know if the camera's picking it up. But that is just step one in making the tank look cold. But now that we got these goodies in, I don't know if you're seeing that sheen or not. Let me know in the comment section if you're seeing that sheen or not. But that's the first step in making the tank look like it's cold metal. But now that we got the track set in, we're going to be putting the tracks on, building them, weathering them, putting them on, and then working with the mud, and then we're going to be closing it up together, and then we can really start working on the diorama portion of the build, and then the figures, and then it's going to be a lot more fun, I guess you can say. And it's still a lot of fun. This is the most fun I had with a build in a long time, just because I've never built a World War II tank like this before. So the video is getting a little bit long, so thanks so much if you hanged on there. But thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe as always, and I look forward to your comments, guys. Bye.